From NPR News in Washington, I'm Lakshmi Singh. Prosecutors in Pennsylvania are charging Bill Cosby with a felony sexual assault on a woman nearly 12 years ago. Bobby Allen of member station WHYY reports it represents the first criminal charge leveled against Cosby, who dozens of women have accused of sexual misconduct.
Investigators outside of Philadelphia say after some court documents were unsealed this summer, including a Cosby deposition, they took a hard look. Montgomery County District Attorney Kevin Steele says the sole count Cosby is facing, aggravated indecent assault, can be charged up to 12 years after an incident.
After determining that the statute of limitations regarding potential criminal offenses had not yet expired, the investigation was real.
Steele says Cosby admitted in the deposition that he gave the victim Quaaludes. The 78-year-old Cosby is expected to appear for an arraignment this afternoon. For NPR News, I'm Bobby Allen in Philadelphia.
Swollen rivers and streams in Missouri and Illinois are pushed up to near record levels after several days of torrential rain. Authorities say the death toll in both states is at least 18. Most of the victims are trapped in vehicles caught in heavily flooded roads. At least 2 people are still missing. In southwestern Missouri, residents were evacuated today from roughly 150 duplexes and homes in Branson. Governor Jay Nixon has activated the National Guard. St. Louis Public Radio's Willis Arnold reports on the toll that historic flooding is having now on people. So,
a number of people have told me that they haven't slept in over 36 hours because they've been out sandbagging and trying to protect their homes and possessions, and that one of the things that they keep bringing back as a major issue is not only just the water, but the fact that it is cold here, which makes it more difficult to do the work that's needed.
Willis Arnold reporting in southern Illinois. The Department of Corrections has transferred inmates from a state prison that houses nearly 3,700 prisoners to other sites because of the risk of floods. Rescuers in China have located 8 miners who had survived for 5 days after their gypsum mine collapsed. NPR's Anthony Kuhn reports from Qinghuangdao that at least 1 miner has been killed, 11 others escaped, 9 are still missing.
Rescuers in East China's Shandong province using infrared cameras detected an intact section of the mine with the 8 miners in it. The rescuers lowered food down to the hungry survivors as they drew up a plan to get them out. Gypsum is a material that's commonly used in construction. The mine's collapse was so powerful that China's National Earthquake Bureau measured its force as equal to a magnitude 4.0 earthquake. 2 days after the accident, the mine's owner killed himself by jumping into a well and drowning. Anthony Kuhn, NPR News, Qinghuangdao, China.
The Dow is down 49 points. This is NPR News. The Texas teenager who invoked the affluenza defense and got probation for killing 4 people in a drunken driving wreck may not be extradited to the United States today, as earlier reported. Ethan Couch and his mother Tanya may still be in police custody in Mexico, where they fled weeks ago after questions emerged about whether the teen violated the terms of his probation. Momentum in the U.S. housing market has been building in recent months, but Steve Beckner of Market News International says one forward-looking indicator suggests a potential cooling ahead.
The National Association of Realtors index of pending home sales unexpectedly fell 0.9% in November. That follows a modest October gain, but it was the 3rd drop in 4 months for the index, which tracks signed contracts on sales of previously owned homes. Usually considered a reliable indicator of actual existing home sales 1 or 2 months in the future, the index seems to point to impending softness in housing. Last month's dip can't be blamed on the Federal Reserve, whose quarter-point hike in short-term interest rates didn't come until mid-December. Since then, mortgage interest rates have risen only slightly. For NPR News, I'm Steve Beckner.
Carl Icahn is buying Pep Boys for $1 billion, beating out a bid by the Japanese tire company Bridgestone. Icahn Enterprises offered $18.50 in cash for each share of Pep Boys. The acquisition is expected to be complete during the next few months. I'm Lakshmi Singh, NPR News in Washington.
Support for NPR comes from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and the estate of Joan Kopp, whose bequest serves as an enduring investment in the future of public radio.
You're listening to The Blair Witness Show on AM 820 and 93.9 WNYC. Every January, when the large commercial theaters both on and off Broadway hit the doldrums, the small downtown theater scene in New York City comes alive with a number of performance festivals. Of these, one of the most highly anticipated is PS 122's The Coil, which is now in its 11th year. It has a track record of eclectic but consistently excellent productions that have spanned the gamut from hilarious to terrifying, from thought-provoking to perspective-changing, and to just plain fun. Last year's shows included an imagined road trip made by Teddy Roosevelt and Elvis Presley, and a performance piece that attempted to create a contagious yawn across New York City, a yawn that began on the billboards of Times Square each midnight. This year's festival, which runs from January 5th through the 17th, features 16 productions in various venues around the city that include a French ventriloquist inspired by Madonna, a reflection on the consciousness of dying, an examination of confirmation bias, and a show that explores the relationship between science fiction, disco, astrophysics, and the Black American experience. Joining us now are Coil Festival's director, Vallejo Gantner, and artist Keneza Shile, creator of Go Forth, and Rachel Chapkin, director of Confirmation. Welcome to our show.
Thanks so much.
Vallejo, did you create The Coil?
I did, yes. About 11 years ago, we were really fed up with the sort of showcase culture that was happening, where everybody was throwing up 5 or 10 minutes of their shows for these presenters who were flying in from all over the world and all over the country, and decided to do something then